Alright. I guess if we want to officially start.
Go right ahead.
Alright, so welcome to the first of a series of interviews with the competition mapmakers. We're going to be talking with Eponn and Twinkie today. Hello, Eponn. So, I guess let's just jump right into talking about your nexus. I guess first question is, what was kind of the inspiration for this whole project? Like, did you start with this nexus idea, or did you have some maps that you had wanted to make first?
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about making a nexus, so I was just making the map Jels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, the idea was based on my map last year,
Yeah.
Big Ship. This map
yeah.
actually has the ship under the water.
Oh, okay,
I don't know
cool.
if anyone realized.
Well, I guess I'll head into Jels first then. Custom music is very great, by the way. Just all 3 tracks are very atmospheric.
Actually, they're all pretty low effort. I made them like 2 to 4 hours each one.
Cool. Well, they definitely fit very well with the the theming across the board is very nice. Let's see if I can even get to the ship.
Artist.
There we go.
Did you end up Apple assessing this yet?
I did.
Skyhawk?
I ended up doing a lot of the Apple SSs for these yesterday.
I need to get up the judge comments, see if there's anything worth mentioning there, actually.
Let me pull up Shake Ship to kind of compare, so we can kind of see this wreck. And then we can compare that
It's
to last year's competition map.
It probably doesn't look like that at all.
I mean, it both looks like a
There's
ship.
a resemblance.
Yeah.
But that is a cool reference that I didn't think of
Yeah, I
at
didn't
the
pick
time.
up on that either.
Can't blame you, it doesn't look like it at all.
So you said...
Actually, this is the first time I compared them. Thanks to you.
Yeah.
So Shake Ship canon and the lore.
Oh yeah, true. This really expands the Eponn cinematic universe.
Yeah, you guys wanted more lore, so there's more, but you missed it.
Oh, that's too bad. I'll have to wait for the trilogy ender. The true finale. So you said this was the map that you were working on first. So like when did you start working on it, like immediately as soon as the competition was announced, or?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so you
So
were constantly adjusting it for 2 months.
No, this took like 3 weeks maybe.
Okay.
So just because it was finished early, I decided to make a nexus as well.
Nice. That makes sense. So you hadn't...
The other maps.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
So I was just going to say, I'm surprised to hear that you hadn't originally planned to use these custom sprites in different situations.
Yeah.
Because I think that was one of the things that people really liked about your Nexus was just it seemed like there was a consistent theme across them of these kind of strange robots in just like all over the world.
Into Jels.
Yeah, exactly. So even if it wasn't originally the plan, I think it works very well. Like, it looks very planned.
Yeah, it was easy to make them look similar because the art style is basically, I mean, in its core it's really simple because layer 19 is just black.
Right. Yeah. It does make sense. And then yeah, you're able to put in a bunch of detail in the background. It's very subdued in this map though, just because it has to be because you're underwater.
Sorry, what that? I don't know what that means.
It's just like the background is very faded. Like you have to really look closely to see the details in the background. Just course, because being underwater, visibility would be low.
Yeah, that's on purpose, because if I made it high contrast like regular maps, it looked really weird.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So I made it blurry on purpose.
Yeah, I did like that part of the style. Nothing was really distracting, but you could always see some detail.
Yeah, also I want to mention one more thing.
Yeah.
The spikes are really unclear. The geometry is really unclear, but
yeah, I think that's always a problem
especially
with these type of spikes.
It was certainly awkward to tell what you could spike jump off, but it was easy to tell that everything was spikes.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't know if that helped, but I tried to leave the spike jump parts empty, like if you go to the start of the map.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff is still visible, kind of. Like this. Yeah, that one. It doesn't have any props in there.
Right.
But everything else has it.
Yeah, everything else. I think there have been a lot of other maps that kind of try to do this just foliage on top of the spikes style. And yeah, it is really hard to make it visible when you use that style. The one I'm thinking of in particular is a sea map. It's Monster Cave or something. Let me see if I can find it. But yeah, so I think having the decision to like make all of the relevant gameplay out of scaffolding with this 100% black collision style definitely makes it like stand out, and it becomes a lot more playable. So there's no confusion about what's spikes and what's not.
Yeah, to be honest, I expected more complaints about visibility.
In what kind of way would you say?
Here's the map I was thinking of.
What kind of complaint?
There's a lot of these foliage things. Anyway.
I expected people to say it's not obvious where to stand, even though they're completely different. Like, if you can take this map, the similar style.
Here, I can switch over to your screen. I like the single pink fish, by the way. I always see it in that one spot.
Looking more closely at that, I can see why I didn't have any issues with it. It's because you always gave space for the scaffolding.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what
you could always tell what was safe. There's just a very clear visual. There's more blue from the ocean background water.
Yeah, so even with the 100% color, you still get that contrast.
I think this one is much more obvious where to stand, but people didn't seem to.
Ah, I see. So even though you don't have spikes here, you still. Like...
These are spikes.
Oh, they are spikes. Okay.
Yeah, they're all spikes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I can understand the confusion then, because like even though you've got the.
Yeah. I definitely would not expect those to be spikes.
Yeah.
I think I saw JVC playing that at one point, and that's exactly how I felt. It just seemed a little strange.
Yeah, I think it's not necessarily a problem with the visual indication. I think it's a problem with the expectation. Like, Dustforce players have been trained to see certain things in certain ways, and so if you don't see spikes, yeah, exactly.
Some stuff isn't.
So I think coming back to Jels, I think this map does a very good job of sticking to those expectations. Like, you can definitely see what is safe and what isn't just from the tile
it's really
selection.
Interesting. It's really interesting that you pointed out, because like I wasn't even thinking about that. It's just the same color for safe and not safe, but I was still not. I didn't have any challenge at all telling.
Yeah. And all the bubble effects.
This also have weird stuff, like under this pillar there is spikes, even though.
1 second. Let me switch back. Under what pillar?
Like, above the first heavy prism.
Above the first heavy prism. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, in that ceiling there are spikes, but
Oh,
really
yeah, I see what
seems
you
like
mean.
it shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are stuff like that, but
Yeah, a
I
few
made
spots.
them to avoid like spread.
Ah, that makes a lot of
At the
sense.
very least, those ones are kind of hard to hit, but since you can tell they don't dust spread, that
Yeah.
I guess we're just used to that at the moment.
Yeah, no, I think the dust spread comment is definitely more important than like keeping the consistent
Yeah, it's
collision
really
theme.
inconsistent, but
Yeah.
kinda works.
Yeah, I think just in general
Also,
the
this
attention
part-
to detail is very nice on this map.
For
You're
the first drop, I worked on that camera like a lot. But I
Yeah.
couldn't find a way to make it work.
Oh, that's a lot of
People also
one-way
complain
nodes.
about
Wow.
that.
Yeah, I guess because
Yeah,
you're
this
switching back
camera-
and forth.
Like this
Yeah,
is the most how can I say? This is the most high effort camera I made ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
It still doesn't work because I wanted to keep the map really close, even though it's kind of
Right, yeah, kind of like a
problematic.
claustrophobic feel.
I
pretty
did
more
actually
than,
notice
like-
in a different map. I'm gonna double check the camera there, but just to see if it compares. Do you do that trick in other maps too in the Nexus? Like
The
mirror?
one-way thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I use it a lot.
Yeah, I think it does work, but yeah, with this kind of like geometry where you have a general direction tending to the right, but then you also have to move up and down. I think it's just having that. I guess I'm not sure if the one-way is a super important factor here. Like, what is the one-way preventing?
Yeah, when you're climbing the walls,
Yeah.
it
Yeah, these
gets
ones.
really wobbly. You know,
Ah,
if you
okay.
add the camera there, you can see it.
Yeah. So let
You
me.
come to that part with the boost, like really fast,
Yeah.
and it becomes kind of distracting. Way
Yeah. Okay, I see what you mean. Like just shifting back and forth
like this.
on these walls. So by removing that.
Especially in this map, I wanted
Oops.
it to feel like really calm. You know,
There we go.
so
Yeah.
slow-moving cameras work better for
Absolutely.
this.
Yeah, okay, and then so now the shake is removed. That does make sense.
Also, the close-up camera thing is not for being claustrophobic, but it's for like feeling feeling like you're inside the map more. if that
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah, I can see that. Just like more
I really
immersive.
don't like the big cameras, some dot cameras.
Yeah, if you zoom out a little bit, you do end up seeing some of the level from other sections.
Right.
Yeah, it
that-
also makes things like ledge cancels harder for me. I don't know,
Okay.
but
Yeah. I think
I mean,
we
if
can-
you're not showing the ledge coming up very
Yeah.
early, that makes sense.
I mean,
I'll
in
look at
general,
that issue.
zoomed out cameras make small movements harder for me.
Right.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's just me. I don't know.
Yeah, I think in general I've been more of an advocate for like wider cameras, just allowing the player to see more. But I can see how just small adjustments, small movements could be made more difficult with those wider cameras.
When there are so many levels that make you, like, they make you go fast, you
Mhm.
definitely need to zoom out.
Yeah, for sure.
This one, I mean, when you're falling, you are going fast. And
Yeah.
especially it's vertical, so that's really even more challenging for the
Yeah.
camera.
But
Yeah, I'm just like individually trying to make every node, trying to adjust every node to
Mhm.
make sure you see the like the prism or the dust in front of you.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you
always
always know
leading the
where
player
to
to the
go.
next obstacle.
Yeah, the
You
only
always know where to go,
Oh.
but it just shows up a little bit late sometimes,
Hmm.
like in the big drop.
Yeah,
the drops in general were the like they're pretty much the only thing that were like negatives in terms of the gameplay with
Yeah.
the being able to see what's coming up.
I think
and
this one is probably the biggest leap of
boost
faith.
correctly a lot of the time. You just kind of would just thud a lot of the time. Hard to tell what kind of boost you're supposed to get.
You mean like just in a first time through? Just kind of like learning the route, or
even after you understand the level, it's still hard to understand what kind of boost you're supposed to get in a certain level or a certain part of the level.
Yeah, I think
it was like it was for the making camera consistent, like not ruin the experience. Maybe it's a little bit unpleasant to play, but in general, I think this works better. Like it's just personal preference for me.
Yeah, I wouldn't go so far as to call it unpleasant to play, like, because once you know where the map kind of goes, everything's fine. Like, I would say that this drop is probably the one that is the hardest to kind of get used to. Like, in a first time, you're not going to know where this hole leads to, but then as soon as you do go through this drop, either you land here safely and you're like, okay, now I know, or you don't land here safely, and then you're also, oh, nice dwarf. And then you're also like, okay, well, now I know. Like, it's a one-time problem that is
for me
immediately
personally,
solved.
I don't remember having any issues with that one because I'd always get the same kind of boost going into it, and I just fall. But then I just thought it'd be like, all right, well,
yeah, I guess
I'm gonna take it a little slow right here.
Then.
I had more issues with the second big drop, where you just have a few prisms and that slanted downward wall.
This one?
With dust on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I just kind of naturally take that one slower, but yeah. Just kind of like.
But it flows a bit differently than the rest of the level.
Absolutely.
Because of that.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I should have changed.
There's so many different little things for how the level flows. That
after that part,
it makes sense where it is.
After that part, I felt like I should change the rest of the map after the drop to prisms. Yeah, after here, I wasn't satisfied with anything at all.
Yeah, the prisms really do ramp up after that.
Oops.
You got some at the beginning and then a lot starting there.
This part, to me, feels like much more linear, much more boring than the start part. But I didn't know what to do with it. So.
Yeah, always.
Also, the art was done.
Gotta call it finished at some point.
Yeah. Actually, this was even longer, like 10 seconds longer. The end part.
Really?
Yeah, it was super boring, so I deleted instead of changing it.
That's interesting.
In the long run.
So did it just continue like from here, from this ending? There was just more more prisms and more platforms?
Yeah, in between. I deleted the middle part, I think.
Ah, I see. Okay. Because I was gonna say, like, this seems like a very definitive ending.
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
also,
sense.
there is super trigger change. What is it called? I don't know.
The fog or?
No, I mean super feels at 140 or something. Because I wanted to have it to be faster for the end.
Yeah, I don't remember where you got super exactly, but I never really figured out where I'd want to use it.
Oh yeah. Okay, here. Well, I guess let me.
Yeah, you can. If you want to use the super for the end, also it's much faster. You need to dust spread.
Oh really?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Not a lot.
Really
but
good option to keep.
Yeah. Actually, all three maps have this. They all like fill up in the first prism in the end, you know.
Yeah.
Like you hit a small prism and it fills.
Okay.
I didn't feel compelled to do that at all on the first one, Mirror, because it made so much sense to just play it the way it was without. Actually, was there even the option for dust spread anywhere there? Like you just get super at the end.
No, you just get the super in that one.
Yeah.
Huh.
But it's like, how can I say? The heavies are always faster.
Right.
If you want to super, you need to dust spread.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want the super to be faster, you need to dust spread in this map, for example, and the other one.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure, maybe not.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, because, yeah, the map just gives you almost enough for a super, but not quite. Ah, okay,
Yeah,
so...
the basic rule is, if you want heavies to be faster, you need to... never mind.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I did.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't think you need to over-explain it.
I'm just watching your fastest run currently, and nice ending. I like the kind of reverse loop that you did here. So instead of getting the not quite a boost.
Yeah, you're jumping into the ceiling, right?
Yeah.
I didn't do that on stream, but I was thinking it would probably end up that way. However, it does look like you're supposed to thud a lot.
Yeah, it seems like it's set up that you can do it either way.
Yeah. I didn't end up mentioning it, but I did like that about that section.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those really little things.
Yeah, similar to like Firefly Forest. Has that loop.
Yeah, that one doesn't quite work the same way because it doesn't give you the space for it, but
I guess so.
You are right.
Anyway. Let's talk about some of these scripts. There are a ton of cool
talk about
scripts.
aesthetic in detail.
Yeah. I guess the first one I want to mention is just this kind of light dithering effect that you've got going on with the light rays. I was really surprised to see that, and I think it just really adds to the whole aesthetic.
It's just
Do you have a
like
toggle for
simple
particles, Skyhawk?
I can check.
It's pretty useful to be able to see the differences. You might as well just find it.
Interesting.
That
yeah,
way you
you're
can
right.
compare little sections and show it off.
Yeah, like just switching between the two modes. It looks a lot more flat when you don't have any of these particles.
Yeah.
Even with everything moving, like the props move,
Yeah.
museums move, but it still looks much more simple.
Yeah, just all of the life in the ocean. I guess with this light effect, I'm curious where you got it from, because I don't remember seeing any script like this before.
It's just custom props. If you use the editor, you can see it.
Yeah.
So each one of these triggers? It's a prop trigger?
Yeah. It's a prop trigger.
Prop. Oh! So each one of these is an animation that you made, similar, like it's the exact same script as these robots, is what you're saying.
No, they're just props, playable props, not moving.
I mean, they're pretty big.
But they are
yeah,
moving.
just go to the top right.
I don't understand.
If you
Zoom
just
out a little,
move it.
turn off the particle effects.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, there's these, but what I'm talking about is these the particle effects. Oh, so I see. They are just emitters.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they're just
I'm surprised
Yeah,
at
they
that. It's
combine
just
really
emitters.
nicely.
Oops.
I think they're fireflies or something.
Huh. Yeah, no, I did
Just
not
a little bit
recognize those as just fireflies, but now that it's been pointed out, I can definitely see it.
Yeah, I worked really hard to blend them.
Huh. That is super
It was
cool.
really hard actually, because map color changes from start to finish all the time.
Right, yeah, you've got all these fog triggers.
Yeah. It's mostly to...
Oops.
It's because of the gradient, you know, the upper side of the map is brighter in the background.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I
Yeah.
had to change the lights all the time to fit that.
Yeah, because closer to the surface, just there's more light that reaches. Yeah, just small details like that, I think are great.
Like right now, they look much brighter
Mm-hmm.
because you're on a different
Yeah,
fog
it made
filter.
like you were going through little pockets of, little differences too.
Yeah.
There are also random emitters, same as these ones. Actually,
Yeah.
I think they are completely the same, but they appear when you pass some certain fog triggers only.
Oh, I see. So like you just
Alright.
have the fog make them blend in. until you get to that point.
I can show you.
Sure.
Switch to my stream.
Yeah.
Like here, can you see this?
Yeah, vaguely.
When you go through them, they blend in with the background.
Okay.
So it looks like, kind of looks like they're moving like here too.
Yeah.
So I try to make them like moving waves. Obviously they're not
okay.
moving.
Yeah, so like the
But
flow of the water.
when you go fast, yeah, when you go fast, they look like kind of look like moving.
Huh.
But it's really subtle.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's just that's the line for this entire map, is just all the effects are very subtle.
Are there any
Oh,
effects
yeah.
that you think no one really noticed, judging? I mean, we didn't really look in detail, but if you read the comments and stuff like that, do you think there's anything that might have been skipped out on?
There are these kind of fishes.
Yeah, I think
They
it's
move
funny
over.
how well all of the different leaf particles like just work as fish.
Yeah,
Some of
I
them
actually didn't
are-
notice those ones. You're right.
They're like in 3 or 4 places. There are like regular light props of them.
Oh yeah. Oh jeez, that's a lot of props.
Like 1,000, not big as these maps.
Yeah. Yeah, I think even the prop wind that's just like making all of the props move back and forth, like you don't really notice it immediately. It's just, it gives the whole map a sense of motion and life. It's just, there's always
Yeah, I was
constantly
a huge
things
fan of the seaweed.
shifting.
They stopped moving for some reason now.
It might be like a distance thing, I'm not sure.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, these ones move because of the distance.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about the gameplay a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
The idea for this map, it's kind of an experiment.
Yeah.
I was going like this, like there's a, random drop here, you need to jump, hit the prisms, go fast here.
Yeah.
And like this part is really feels dangerous,
Yeah.
If you make a
Sure.
mistake, you die. So I tried to make the next part like a little bit more calm.
Mhm.
You go here, it's really hard to die
Yeah.
if you don't miss this prism.
Right.
Jump here, you go. And this part is pretty easy too. Then you fall into a drop, kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
And again, it's easy part. Like I wanted map to be hard, but not like you have to attack all the time. You have to be careful all the time.
Yeah, like not super dense.
But yeah, not super dense. Like giving players a break. Like
Okay. Nice. Yeah, I think that's a
That
good
kind of thing.
consideration to have for like one of these maps where you're not just making
Yeah.
them constantly like, oh my god, what's the next obstacle? What am I doing?
I've actually had that kind of conversation with Dello a few times now. More like, I wouldn't call them arguments, but just more like, I keep describing it in terms of, say, think of it like exhaustion. The player is exhausted mentally by certain kinds of things going on. If they have to continuously play all the time and like do a bunch of crazy acrobatics and
and
inputs,
adapt to like what
Um,
exactly is happening and where exactly they are.
yeah, they're gonna get more and more exhausted, so it can be too much at once potentially. And this
Yeah.
also applies to things like visuals, so you can still add to that exhaustion if they also have to look at a lot of different things and have to parse what's going on. So in this case, where there is that kind of flow between easy and hard, you can really give people a little break and make them better able to focus on what's about to come up next, which makes it seem a lot easier overall to an extent. It's just a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, that's one part of the whole idea. You know, there are 3 prisms here. You need to choose which one to hit first, or you want to hit both of these together. You need to think what you're gonna do a little bit.
Yeah,
And
this
in
is
this part,
something that I'm describing also is very similar to Yada difficult.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Yada has a few breaks as well. Not as many, but they're in there. Like the entire nexus section.
There's a lot of different stuff you do in Yada
Yeah.
that it just separates in segments.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, that kind of solves the problem by having different sections. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
all
and the
parts
different
are
kinds
different.
of gameplay.
Yeah,
But
When
it does
you-
still build up.
A lot of attention to detail in this map. Like, you talked about the gameplay, you talked about the camera, and then just you can see clearly that the decoration has just so much detail put into it. I think this.
What was your most challenging kind of thing to work on with this map, would you say?
probably the triggers, fog triggers. You look at here,
Yeah.
the emitters look black.
Right.
It's because of the background color.
Yeah, having
Right on the
everything
top.
shift from light to dark just seems
Yeah.
like it's a lot of stuff to juggle with all of these different layers.
Just because it's brighter in the top.
Hmm.
So every time you move up a little bit, I needed to change I need to change everything. To
Right.
make
Yeah.
it consistent.
Every single layer, every single sub layer on every layer.
Especially the fish, like
Yeah.
these triggers.
It's so many triggers.
This was also like one of the
Yeah,
biggest problems.
seeing this screen, I
Because-
can understand why the map lags for some people.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually putting too many emitters like doesn't lag it for me.
Oh yeah,
I
I think
don't
it's,
think
it's
it
more
works
so
for
just the
other people
number of
too.
particles rather than the number of emitters.
Actually, there aren't really big amount of emitters in this one. It
I
looks
actually
like
found
a lot.
when testing lag that when the only times that I had lag, funnily enough, was when I didn't have OBS open.
Oh
So,
really?
That's strange in my opinion, for
That is
one.
extremely
but
strange.
it was mitigated the most when I used low res sprites, not turning particles off. So
Yeah, it's probably
the
because
sprites
of the-
themselves
Yeah, okay.
probably had a significant impact, it turns out.
I think it's because of the prop wind script, because there are a lot of moving props.
Yeah, just a lot of calculations of when to draw things. I could see that.
But the particle number is really low
Yeah. Huh.
compared to my other maps.
Yeah, just pretty sparse. Yeah, like the bubbles from the emitters that are covering the entire map. It's like just a very occasional bubble.
There is like the 10.
Yeah.
Green.
I'm a big fan of how the enemies have their own particles too, especially the larger
Yeah,
ones.
yeah, the large one having the bubbles from the propeller. Oh, chef's kiss.
Yeah, I wanted to make this in the PNG file,
Yeah.
right? But can't really draw under here.
Yeah, that makes
But it has
sense.
to be this big. So it could look better if I could do that.
Well, I think it works great.
Right.
Alright.
Want to talk about the
well,
other
thank
maps in
you.
your next?
Yeah, I was thinking, I'm
Right.
not sure there's anything else to say about this map, unless any final comments. Yeah, just
Any chat questions also?
that's true. Alright, I'll run through it one more time while we
I mean,
admire.
I could probably question like how it worked differently over time, and like what kinds of things you added
Oh yeah, like
like
how it evolved.
when you add the details and how you edited them over time. Like I'm a big
not-
fan of the seaweed, for instance.
I think the seaweed is one of the last things I added.
That kind of makes sense because it has to work around the geometry.
Yeah, and also I didn't really want to add prop into script because of the lag, but the map looks like not as good without them.
Yeah, I think it really adds to
but it felt like I need to add something. I needed to add something complete to it.
Well, let's talk about the Nexus then.
Yeah.
So when you just drop into that Nexus, it's you get the first the first music.
Yeah. You hear the custom sound effects and the custom music.
And you go to that door, and the script for the door shows you the door is gonna do some cool stuff right as you get there.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the doors and that first introduction in general to the Nexus.
Yeah, first of all, I was very surprised to find out that the way that this door is made a circle, it's just one of these props. I thought that was really funny for some reason.
The light props?
It's just the circle prop, like the big. I don't know what to call this, like star metal thing, and just that's the only thing you have there that's making it circular. I thought for sure it would be some kind of like script thing, but it's just a clever use of props and emitters, and I suppose the dust mod particle triggers.
Actually, I tried almost every prop before this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, like,
well, the doors themselves are a little different from each other too.
Yeah, here I got a new game.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of showing the thumbnail pretty much. That's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's way better than just the fog color.
It's like the natural evolution of that idea.
You mean that? I thought the thumbnail of the Nexus, because I did something for that, but I don't remember what was it.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure if there's any way for us to see the thumbnail. I guess through here.
Yeah, it's probably just the store.
Yeah, it's the first door.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the bonus thumbnail from viewing it in level source.
Yeah. And so you said that this is just like a PNG that you've embedded in the Nexus?
Yes, just the custom prop script, and the rest is particle triggers and fog triggers.
Yeah, you can kind of see the just the little spark effects here, and then they, I believe, get bigger. Yeah. So just
it's just scaling the same emitter.
Yeah.
No, I think it's different. These ones block, the ones that block the portal just disappear, like zero density.
Right.
Zero density.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
And it just reveals that.
Huh. Yeah, very cool. Then is it the same thing here? Yeah, I suppose so. It looks like the circle around it's a bit different. It's like mostly just the tiles.
Yeah, because I was really lazy with this Nexus. So I just made the first door look good, and
I think your definition of lazy and mine are maybe a bit different. But
I mean, honestly, it was one of those things that was a downside for the Nexus compared to other ones.
Yeah, I suppose the Nexus here isn't doing too much in terms of gameplay. Like it's mostly just a way to contain the levels in this case.
Yeah, actually this is the third Nexus I tried. I tried to make something similar to Syun Below's Nexus, like lasers, you know.
Oh wow.
A lab. Actually these doors were going to be in a lab, like as a part of the lore, like the drones and high technology stuff.
Huh.
I think Camel said he was complaining one of them looked more like a lab tile set. The other ones didn't.
Oh yeah. Like this one has more lab tiles. I don't know. I think it works well. It's kind of like a wreckage sort of thing to me.
Yeah, but that has a reason. Like this was the original lab, and the other ones, like covered in grass and stuff over time because they were outside
Huh.
and inside.
Hidden lore.
I,
I would not have picked
yeah,
up on
I
that.
know it. Yeah, it's hard to notice because it doesn't look like a lab at all.
Yeah. I guess I did kind of mention like wreckage of something, but that's as far as my thought process went.
It may be hard to like pick up on that kind of thing, but that's also what's like that kind of method of thinking about it is what's really important to the design and what makes us, you know, feel like the Nexus is tied together pretty nicely.
Absolutely.
But
Like,
I would say that's partially only thanks to the secret helping to an extent.
Yeah.
Like you're able to kind of retroactively associate them better together if you know, caught it at the end.
I don't know. Everyone.
I was just gonna say I
said,
definitely
like-
did get the sense that like there was something going on here, and I kept feeling hungry for answers, but the answers
Yeah,
don't
that was
really...
the whole point. I wanted people to want answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Actually, the reason that the secret is hard to find is also on
very
purpose.
It's still very loud. It's the last one I tried. There we go.
Any comments on the secret?
I don't know.
I think
More
you
lines.
mentioned somewhere that this
want-
voice was like just a text-to-speech.
Yeah, it's text to speech, but I edited like Avenged helped with the. I mean,
Okay.
Zyke and Avenged helped with the text, but Avenged also sent me a voiceover
Huh.
to make the expressions obvious, I think. So I just compared these both and tried to move the words a little, you know, time it better to
Okay. Cool.
feel more expressive.
Yeah.
That
Just
even a
match
word, I
with
don't know.
the tone and the rhythm of the words.
Yeah. You want me to explain the lore?
I'd
Sure.
love to.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid. When I was started to make this Nexus, I lost my pet, so I was kind of sad, and
Yeah.
that lord is dependent on that.
Oh.
So he wants to get back to his pet.
Huh.
Some people said his ex stuff.
Makes it feel appropriate.
Huh. Trying to like reread this with new context.
Yeah, actually, it's connected unintentionally. You know, I felt like how I feel already. The maps already express how I feel, in general. Also, text, I think, connects them somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to destroy the world, but
What?
you know, I like.
I don't know.
I like ambient
It's really
stuff, like dark
unclear.
stuff.
Zyke is asking how this text works.
You just drop really slow.
So you
I
can-
changed the drop speed with the physics trigger.
Okay. And so I guess this guy is just really far in the background, and so that's why he looks
Yeah,
like he's not moving.
It's on layer 2 or something.
Yeah, practical effects.
Also,
in our
character
world
is
of
hidden.
modern scripting, it's a lost art.
Do you? Also, character is hidden there with layer controller.
Oh, I see.
And there are two big props to block the upper side and below the text.
Huh. Okay, so just like, yeah, a black rectangle.
Yeah.
That's funny. Huh. And so you've set it to be in front of stuff, but also parallax slowly. That's an interesting use of that. I hadn't thought of using it that way.
Yeah, I also used this like similar thing in CMR60 for the spaceship.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's also, I think it's almost the same thing.
Quickly go and look at CMR60. Just because I'm curious now.
But that one has cameras to make the ship look like it's starting the engine. This one
Oh,
doesn't
right.
have
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about now. Yeah, so this is what you mean. Okay, so this is the same kind of falling effect?
Yes.
Huh. Very cool.
I think there, like the going fast part, there is a camera trick. I don't remember what it is.
Yeah. Huh.
Maybe fall speed increases.
Yeah, that is very cool. Alright. So I guess let's talk about these other maps now. Muir. Actually, first question, where do you come
Okay,
up with these names?
They're just random letters.
But it sounds like a word.
Yeah.
Well, good to know they don't technically mean anything now.
Yeah.
Only thing I do, I Google it to make sure it's not something offensive or something.
Has anybody else had this? I kind of blame myself because this is my script, but sometimes these prisms don't always get replaced with their sprite properly, and I don't know why.
First time that happened to me was during the presentation stream.
Yeah, it's like I couldn't believe that it just didn't happen at all during any of the judging streams that I watched.
Yeah.
And then just
But
when
it
I
only
get to play
happens in this map. Maybe I messed up the IDs or the end triggers. I mean end prisms.
But I don't know. That time it worked, so it's like.
Yeah, it's probably the ID. I mean the script box is connected to some other entity as well. Maybe it counts that first sometimes.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'll have to look into it. Maybe fix it for next time if anybody else wants to use this script. Alright.
Well, the map itself feels like a really appropriate start to the Nexus. Very easy to get into and very impressive with, you know, it gives you the lightning and thunder pretty early.
I think the lightning effect is very, I don't want to say shock factor, but like, it's very impactful.
Yeah, it's definitely impactful without being shocking.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I really liked about it.
I think it's a good build up for
the shake here.
Next map.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't go
Yeah,
back.
you're not gonna
after
spend
you
that much
experience
time
the
in
earthquake.
it. Also.
I didn't want it to be really big for two reasons. One for like not being better than the last maps. The other one is this map is pretty short and you have to beat every time you play.
It's really nice that it sets the tone without making you feel like, you know, you're gonna miss out on anything, and that you're not missing out on anything by not overanalyzing it as well.
Yeah,
it doesn't force you to look at everything.
Yeah, gameplay wise, like it's yeah, exactly. It's a nice linear, straightforward boost map, so you can kind of, if you're comfortable with just the dash rhythm, like there are long sections where you're just you're pressing dash repeatedly, and you can take a sec to look at the background.
Yeah.
For stuff like this, most important thing is the placement of the effect, like for this map, for the lighting.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Like, even if you miss the boost, can you try to miss it? Like,
right.
Even if you miss it, it doesn't like really breaks it. Because it's just a flat ground, you can't really do anything really different.
Yeah, I see, just with all of these triggers in a close area. It's interesting that, yeah, having these large triggers overlap leads to like this crescent shape where the lightning is active.
Yeah, it's weird because of the cameras.
Yeah. That makes sense. And then, yeah, the sound effects. Interesting. What is this one? Oh, the wobble. I see. Yeah, and then the sideways rain.
Also the buildings.
Yeah.
Can you go to the trigger?
The lightning trigger?
Yeah.
Sure. Oh. Let's see if I can stay on it. There we go.
You need to go left a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So the buildings show the lights, you know.
Yeah.
When outside of the lightning, they are completely single color, flat color. When you go into the lightning, they, how can I say?
Yeah, they're illuminated.
Can you click the trigger?
They're backlit.
Can you click the trigger?
Oh, click the, sure. Yeah. What layer?
Just click it. You know, these sliders go back. The lightning trigger.
Yeah.
Oh, it shows more of the prop. I don't know.
I'll switch to your screen so you can kind of show off exactly what you mean. Cause...
Okay.
No. Other map, yeah. Gotta head all the way over to the nexus.
Yeah, these ones.
Yeah. Yeah,
From the start it looked like this. When you enter this trigger, move them a little bit.
Yeah.
I think this is the
best
thing about this lightning. Yeah. Back layers get visible more.
Huh. Yeah, because
all of them are different.
It makes the entire scene brighter, just during the flash.
Yeah, but it's different on every layer, you know. These ones light less.
Ah,
these ones
yeah.
show up more, and that adds a lot of depth to this effect.
Absolutely.
I think. If they were just one color again, it wouldn't look like this.
Yeah.
This is something I discovered in this map.
Huh.
That was all.
Yeah, so you spent a lot of time like working with the exact lighting of that trigger? Cool.
Well, that's pretty much it for this map.
Yeah.
There are also these ones.
Oh.
Everyone noticed in C's map.
Yeah.
They also splash here. But not really noticeable.
Yeah. Just like tiny little splash emitter. That is cool.
Well, that's pretty much it for this one.
Yeah. Nice. Alright, let's move on to the next one then. Ice. Is it meant to be pronounced ice? Or is it?
No idea. Maybe ace?
That is the other way.
Yeah. But I mean, if it's ice, then it makes sense that it's all cold and because it's ice.
Yeah. I actually didn't even realize that. Yeah, these prisms and these colors are much worse than the other maps. Kind of the reason I didn't spend too much for this visuals for this map.
Yeah.
Because I lost the project file. I deleted it.
Oh no.
I deleted the project file and I didn't have access to layers for this.
Shoot. So like you had to just start again from scratch, or?
No, I just used like brightness, contrast sliders to make it red, you know.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh,
it
I
doesn't
see.
look
I see what you're
right.
saying. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's,
like the big one is kind of pink instead of gray.
yeah.
Metal part.
I think it still does kind of work, just because like you can, with the red, you can tell that they're hot in this cold environment, and so like just the contrast of it is very striking.
But
so
it
I
could
think
be
it still
better.
works, even if you didn't have the exact sprites that you wanted to work with.
So for the visuals of this map, I really didn't know what to add. I wanted to keep the layer 19 simple, like the other maps.
Right, yeah, like the full, just solid color kind of look.
Yeah, but this one looks like much less effort.
I suppose. Yeah, I could,
Maybe
like,
it's
compared
because-
to the other two, yeah, I can see that.
Maybe it's because it's white. I have no idea. But I didn't know what to add to this without ruining it.
I think this one felt the most ominous to me. Like, this one feels kind of like apocalyptic, like there's something happening in this world, and I think this is what made me kind of want to know more about like the lore of what's happening here. Just, it feels... It does feel flatter than the others and more lifeless, but it felt intentional, in my opinion. Like this single flower here that you ended up landing on at the ending. Like, it just feels like a dead world and something has happened here. And I want to know what's going on.
But I'm really proud of the background here and the start.
Yeah.
I wish the rest of the level looked as good.
I think the snow effect works really well. Again, it's just particle effects. Yeah, let's check
Just
the
simple.
emitters. Just lots
I mean,
of
if anything,
emitters.
there's less of that kind of, custom detail, but it still fits very nicely.
Yeah, you can see that not the entire map is covered with emitters, so I mean that's a markdown right there.
The only thing is they're on like 3 or 4 layers.
Yeah, to give different colors and more depth to the snow. And then just the
Yeah,
track
but
in the background, the music.
feeling that Skyhawk's been describing is, it resonates for sure. I don't think anyone questioned it.
Oh, the steam rising off not only the robots but the dust.
Steam looks good in this map. I could never it looked this good before. Maybe it's because of the snow it looks just...
Yeah, I think so. It's very similar to the effect you had with the water map of the light particles, like shining in from the top.
This one, particles are much harder to make.
Yeah.
Most time I spent map was probably snow.
I'm just now noticing the mountains in the background, so that doesn't look like just a normal mountain prop.
Yeah, I just to make it look different.
There are a few there.
Yeah. So what are these made of?
They're just mountain props, but some of them are rotated to make it look different.
Where are they now? What layer are they on? 3. Oh, I see. They're clouds.
You mean the snow? Yeah, they are clouds.
Well, I mean, is that snow? It kind of looks like it's just a shading effect on the mountains.
I try to make.
Huh. Well, like it's interesting how it's just on one side. It's like that's the side that the lighting is hitting it from, and so it just makes it look sharper, I would say.
I think that makes sense, but I thought snow would come from one side of the time.
Okay.
I
could
didn't
see that
use
too.
any reference or something, so
Yeah.
I might be wrong.
I think that makes sense as well. Let me get back there properly with the right fog. Yeah, and then I think inside this cave, this style is one that you've used in quite a few maps where it's like, it's a lot of just different tiles sort of randomly placed to kind of make it look more natural. And then combined
Actually,
with...
these are, I think these are only one tile,
Oh, really?
one type of tile, except the wood pillars.
Right. Yeah, okay. Just to give it more structure and then to highlight the gameplay like in the underwater map.
I've learned my lesson. I'm not using every single tile in the game.
Yeah.
I think I'm not anymore because of the lag.
Well, I think the style does work in some of the maps that you've used that, but...
Yeah, I like it, but ruins the game.
Yeah. Very nice. Yeah, I think it is a simpler map compared to the other ones, for sure. Alright.
Oh, anything else you want to ask?
Let's see if I had written anything down. So how long did it take to make the whole thing? You mentioned that Jels alone was like a 3-week map. And then,
Yeah,
so did you just use all the remaining time working on the rest of this?
Yeah, I started with Jels. This one is second.
Okay.
This one didn't took that long, I think.
Yeah. Interesting that you kind of
Maybe
did them
I
in
did.
reverse order.
Yeah, because I wanted to scale the difficulty like linearly.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense.
So, and also the length of the map. Like Jels is like 33 seconds or something, and I wanted this one to be 25, like this one to be 15.
Right.
And I worked around that to make it feel like a progression instead
Yeah.
of random maps. Also, I used a lot of similar geometry between maps.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the start of Jels, you drop down to a slope, but
Yeah.
you don't really get a boost after that. Almost all the maps have this one.
Okay.
The ice also have this start, same start,
Yeah.
but it feels different.
Cool.
Oh, there are a lot more little things that I copied from the Jels to these ones.
Yeah.
Like it's almost exactly the same, but it doesn't feel like the same thing at all.
Yeah. And that makes development
I-
easier, just like in terms of getting ideas, but it also ties everything together.
Yeah.
Cool.
So Jels took first month, like the rest of it was the other maps and the Nexus.
Yeah.
I think Nexus took like 2 days.
That is extremely impressive.
Yeah, but I failed like 2 other Nexuses.
Yeah.
Completely bailed on them.
Huh.
For this, so I didn't have big motivation to make a Nexus again. I
Yeah,
just made
that's-
something simple.
That's fair. Alright.
Do you
Thank
think
you
you'd
very
make
much.
any other things along along the style?
Not really. I wanna try different things every time.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the most fun to do.
Nice.
Figuring out new stuff.
Alright.
Scripts, like, different ways.
Well, thank you very much for doing the interview, Eponn. I think that was a lot of good details.
Yeah,
For
I ended
my
up going an
team.
hour after all.